The reality though is that the stories and the outcome is so nice and pretty, very nice to talk about. You know, you feel good and you get all excited about it. It's the hard work, it's the day-to-day grind, the hard work that is very, very difficult to do. And this is where we come in. This is where we walk that journey with you, provide you with the skills, tell you where you can find the skills.
So what Parl Sec mentioned is important. There are many resources available, not just the resources but also the opportunities. So I think it's very critical for all of us here to look for these resources and opportunities and really leverage on them. And I think that's one of the ways that we can maximize our own potential. So I guess many of our participants here are perhaps at that crossroads. You know, you're about to graduate, you're wondering whether I should take that leap of faith and to continue in this particular path or to move on to another path. So I think here what will be useful is to listen to our panelists who have gone to different paths.
Even if you don't know what you want to do currently, don't stop learning. Don't stop being curious as to what the community or the world needs. Always be in the main current situation, like present in that. Know about not just the knowledge that you have built, but gain more knowledge, like general knowledge that you have around the world, not just about Singapore, but other countries and so on. That's one of the things that you can do. And even if you have the uncertainty of what you don't know what to do after graduation, is fine. I'm telling you, it's fine. Okay, but like Madam Rahayu say, don't stop too long. Okay, but even when you are stopping, don't stop learning.
So an important element of understanding what you need to do is really about getting guidance and about widening horizons. And one very critical source of this is through mentoring. And maybe I'll just swing this to Azri first. You know, how important is mentoring for those of us who have just started on your careers? And you know, how do we find mentors in our workplaces?
How do you look for connections? Okay, so there are some platforms, for example, like Young NTUC, and there are also like Mendaki. You can look at EMP. A lot of MMOs or even NGOs are providing this avenue. So, for example, like Young NTUC, what we do is we have identified this is a core concern of the youth, and we actually have career mentorship programs where we do call people for the industry. So, for example, maybe some of our panelists, you know, some of the people who are already working, and they give an insights. So when you go for our career mentorship program, right, they will just do a quick sharing. So it's like speed dating lah. You know, I go to one breakout room, then I talk, 5 minutes, okay, can. Then you go to a few breakout rooms. So after that session, then you realize that, hey, you know, I want to know more about this industry. So we link you up with the mentors, and you probably explore the next 3-4 months asking them questions like, you know, how do you get there? What are the strategies? What are the tips that you have? What kind of qualifications do I need? What competencies? You know, like do I need to learn this, or is this available? Yeah, so these are some of the programs that's available outside.
I wouldn't put it lightly. I think it's true that life can feel very, very overwhelming for a variety of reasons, whether for you or your siblings or your friends or your parents. And you know, when people say there are resources to help, it depends on what you need. I think you have to first find out. Don't be afraid of finding out what exactly is happening to you. Sometimes that might mean going to your school counselor, having a chat, kind of working it out, coming out with a strategy, and you're good. Sometimes that might mean longer term therapy, going to speak to a counselor a couple of times before you can sort of shift back, refocus, and come back more rejuvenized. Sometimes it may mean medication, right? And if you don't take that first step to actually find out what it is, you can't be on the road to recovery. You can't be on the road to recovery. So when life feels overwhelming, if you continue to feel that way, don't dismiss it.
So one question I have for the panels is like, what does young entrepreneurs now play in Singapore's economy, and how can we contribute to the fast-paced economy that we are facing that we are facing currently? Yeah, so that's all from me.
Yes, there is definitely an important role that the entrepreneurs play within the space. But it also is not just a matter of any entrepreneur, any business. Because if you're talking about, say, F&B or something that is already being addressed, then you need to figure out whether that's going to make money and that's going to also address the needs lah. So I'm not quite sure where in the mental health space you want to land, because we are evolving in that nature. I think there's so much still we don't know, and I think there is scope there. But you need to understand what is the current trends of what's happening. There is the interagency Mental Health and Wellbeing Task Force that's already been set up, looking at a few different things. You may want to understand a bit better where the government is heading with some of these, where the sector is in some of this, and see where that gap is that you can play. And really, it's about filling in. So the role I feel of entrepreneurs is really to make it a vibrant ecosystem within our country in terms of what is available within the economy to fulfill the needs of the people here and maybe overseas, and to also create jobs, to create opportunities for others to join you in that wave. So I think that is something that I would see as a bigger role.
Whenever you cannot manage something, just pause, break down, it's fine. One day, bring yourself up the next day. Get yourself back up. And always, after you achieve something, reward yourself.
Right, we are youths, right? Don't be scared to make mistakes, because anything you can just say, oh, sorry, I'm still learning. Thank you for your guidance. Yeah, so be creative, explore, but always remember whatever options that you present to yourself, right? Having the options, you must always back it up with certain competency or certain substance, right? So that people learn to take you seriously, and there's also sustainability in the ideas that you generate.
I just think it's really important for you to know that you deserve to be at the table. You deserve to get that job. You deserve it. It's not that you don't. You may feel very like, Allah, I'm not qualified, what do I know? And you have all these like self-doubt. And sometimes, you see like, oh my gosh, there's so many other people. They look older, they look more qualified, their CV is longer or whatever it is. But you yourself, your experiences has this intrinsic value that you just need to communicate it out.
Be responsible to yourself, because there's so many of you here and on Zoom, and all of you have very different experiences, have different needs at different stages of your life. The things we say here may or may not fit you, because depending on what is it that you need. Because some part of me feel that I need to nudge some of you to be a bit more jangan malas lah, be more excited. But some of you may need that time out to take a break, not be so overwhelmed, and take care of yourselves mentally. We don't know that, and you know that. So you need to be honest with yourself. You need to be responsible to yourself, and figure out what it is that you need to do.